evening, everyone, and thank you for coming to the presentation. Tonight, we're going to be talking about my future career as a recording engineer with a little bit of a twist. So a quick background, I've been a producer for 7 years. I come from a family of very intense musicians, a father who graduated from the Cincinnati Conservatory with a master's in performance, and 2 grandparents who graduated from Juilliard. So there's definitely music in my blood. I have worked in the industry, actually in New York City, at a company called Primary Wave, and they're an entertainment company. They've got departments ranging from everything from A&R all the way to a production team, and they also do talent management and a ton of things. So it's really a good way to see all different varieties and aspects of the industry. I am a classically trained multi-instrumentalist. I play 5 instruments that are my main instruments. And I think that for most people, my career goal seems a little bit like a fantasy. So my career goal, what exactly is it? I would like to be a recording engineer who is also a producer and an artist. And I know that seems like a dream, but I've got someone else who has the same story. So when I went to Hall of Fame 9 just a week ago, I got to see Jordan Young, known as DJ Swivel, speak about his story coming through Full Sail and his goal, his career goals, and how he got to where he is today. So I'm just going to show you that clip.
When I started my career, I wanted to be a producer. I didn't come to Full Sail to necessarily be an engineer. I came to learn about engineering and that so that I could be a better producer. And then when I got into the industry, I thought, well, I should intern at a studio because that's going to get me closer to artists and blah, blah, blah. And what I found out is learning the craft of engineering and mixing made me an infinitely better producer, like by far. And so now, since I started as a producer, now when I mix, I add a lot of those production elements to a song that other mixers might not want to do or may not have the ear for and whatnot. So it's not just about mixing now. I'm directing the vocal performances and adding background vocals. I make sure I'm very careful about where and when I do it, but I know most mixers aren't going to go and do that. I'll have no problem changing drums. On the Chainsmokers album, there's a song that I wrote on, and that wasn't because I was asked to come in and write. That was because, the song needed some help in some certain areas, and I started humming a melody, and Drew really liked it, and then he added some lyrics to that, and it was just part of the collaborative process. So I think what separates me is my ability to act as both producer and mixer at the same time.
Okay, so as you can see by what Jordan was saying, he basically did the exact same thing that I came here to do. So it was really interesting to me to hear that from him because he's so successful at what he does and he's got a name for himself. But in doing further research, I was looking at other people who interested me, and we've got 3 people: Eric Henry, Aaron Waltz, and Ann Powers. So Eric is in marketing. And it's really important to understand what he does because he's able to connect with artists on a personal level to help them succeed. And that's really important for my own career just because I don't even understand myself on a personal level yet. So I have to understand what other people are looking for in me. Game sound design, that's Aaron's job. I found that really interesting because he's designing soundscapes to keep people interested in something that's not even changing, to keep their mind focused on the game. And the game itself is the same thing over and over and over again. But what he's doing is actually figuring out how to play with people's minds using different sounds. And then journalism, which is Ann's job, that's very important just because you have to understand the business side. You have to understand how to talk about yourself and your product and other people in a professional way and how to be clear and concise. And yeah, so that's what I've got for you tonight. Thank you for coming, and have a good evening.